a young Hesh girl running camera B today, considering Bull Boy got stuck in traffic and totally bailed out on us. So Hesh girl in the cut.
Let's see how good she is. Let's see. I think you picked a winner, dude. We'll find out.
Yeah, that's honestly a pretty good start to a relationship when you're bringing your chick to the gig and she's helping you out.
Just bring your chick to work day. So
yeah.
But yeah, we'll. I mean, maybe she'll take a little less pay than Bull Boy, and we could fire him.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Maybe she'll kill it, and we'll pay her more, and she'll just take Bull Boy's spot.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Have not been in here in a while.
Man, things have been wild.
I feel like I say that almost every time I get in here. That I feel like I haven't been here in a while.
Right? I know. Well, we are back to another episode of the Insiders Podcast, presented by WTP Motorsports, and today we have the pleasure of being joined by Tag Gasparian. Tagger, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dog. So the legendary Tagger custom painted helmets. As you can see on the wall, we actually added a couple today for anybody who doesn't know who Tagger is. Old school Vulcan helmets. I'm sure everybody knows what those are. And then like the one up above me, just kind of clean, bright style to it. We can kind of start it right out, Tag. What got you into painting helmets? How did all that type of stuff start for you? The artistic style.
It's a long story.
Perfect. We got time.
I grew up in Laguna Beach, which is a full art city, and my dad was one of the main artists in the whole town and the Laguna Beach Art Festival. And my mom was a designer. She did like the first silk screens ever in the old days, so she kind of was ahead of her time doing that. And then we were all involved in it too. They have the pageant of the masters there. This isn't about myself, but the whole family was in. Myself, my sister and brother, and my mom. If you know what it is, you probably don't though. It's you're on stage with a big backdrop in the background of a famous painting, from like Van Gogh or something, and you're standing there with makeup all over you to look like you're part of the painting. It's pretty cool.
Whoa,
yeah.
That is kind of cool.
And I did that for like 6 years when I was really young. And then I've always drawn. And I was surfing and skateboarding and stuff like that. And then I got into surfing and I started painting surfboards and then to helmets. And that's how it got.
Yeah, because your career sort of started in the surf side of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
did you surf yourself or did you just paint surfboards or what was the deal?
I was a professional surfer in the 80s and I had sponsors and stuff and I always drew on the side. They didn't have computer stuff to do it on back then. And I was still terrible on a computer, but just freehand. I used to draw logos for companies and t-shirt designs and stuff like that, and they'd reproduce them.
So even back then you were like designing logos basically, but you were just drawing them up from scratch.
I've always been on my life.
No shit. That's crazy.
That's cool. So you basically come from a whole family of artists.
Yeah. It was artistic side was just in my blood and pretty much,
That is cool.
So you started out sort of on the, surfing side of things. What brought you into painting dirt bike helmets? Like, how did that come about? Because, again, for anybody who doesn't know Tagger, you've painted some of the most iconic helmets, some of the raddest helmets for some of the fastest dudes in the world on dirt bikes. Like, you've had a very heavy resume for what you do.
I after painting surfboards for like 27 years, I got into motocross late. I was a vet rider, and I had two sons. They were little at the time, and I was teaching them how to ride motorcycles on a PW50, and they moved up and were starting to race and stuff. And so then I thought, I'll try some helmets, see how it goes, and so that's how it started. That's crazy.
And now to like see where it is now, like, does that ever trip you out? Because I mean, again, you literally, there's people that buy Bell helmets that have your name on the jaw. You know what I mean? And
It's cool.
That's got to be freaking
Yeah,
weird.
don't you have like pre-painted helmets with Bell or something like that?
Yeah, I'm one of their designers, artists.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a long time for them. When I first started doing it for Bell, they didn't even have my name on it. But as my brand grew, then they saw that I was, pretty popular, I guess. And then they started putting my logo on the visor, and then it went to the chin bar, like the whole chin bar and stuff. And it helped their sales, so they kept working with me. And
That's cool. Did they did that all start by them reaching out to you to help design stuff, or did you reach out to them, or how did that go?
I don't really know how that started. It's
been a long time.
I think they came to me, and I probably submitted stuff to them too.
Mhm.
I'm always hitting up all the motocross brands to try to help their look.
Yeah.
But they think I'm always coming to them to try to make money, which I'm not. I'm trying to evolve their brands, because a lot of the helmet companies these days, their graphics are so stagnant. To me, they look like the same they have forever. They're like tribally, and I just want the motocross industry to progress, the art side of it.
Right.
It'd be nice to see it get cooler in every aspect, but
There's some taste in it.
it's a little hard to do when people don't want to
Yeah.
let you
I
help
always
them.
try, but it doesn't hurt to, if they, they're going to say is no, but
Right. I mean, if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
yeah.
So again, just a brief list of some of the OGs that
Riders.
used to wear Tagger helmets. Ryan Villopoto, Nico, Izzi, Jason Anderson,
Darren Durham, I think, right?
Darren Durham.
Mhm.
I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch. Dean Wilson.
There's too many to list. There's like everybody.
Right. So
I've done Carmichael's, Stewart's.
So how many helmet painting championships do you have?
None. No, I don't know.
Lost count.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a whole bunch. But how does someone like yourself, get to that level? Like how did you start from just painting helmets for your kids and doing them for whatever, just a really small scale, to painting them for people like Ryan Villopoto when he's dominating, like.
Well, I got Ryan when he was really young. I'd go to like the local amateur nationals, and kind of be a scout and look for the top kids. And because I was riding too, so I kind of knew. And I would just approach them and their other parents and tell them, what I do and stuff. And that's how I had such a good amateur team. And then that's how I got those kids.
So is that sort of the story with most of them? Because I'm, again, like, Anderson, Mark Worth back in the day.
Yeah, not all of them. Those guys were on the Vulcan team, and I was doing all the Vulcan helmets for them, and those were like their riders. So
Gotcha.
That's why I got Anderson and Mark Worth and all those Durham and all those guys too.
And that's that leads into another pretty important question that I'm sure a whole bunch of people would love to know is, how did the Vulcan thing pop up? Whatever happened to it? Because I personally know a whole bunch of people that that still talk about, remember the old Vulcan helmets back in the day that Tagger painted? They were known as like some of the sickest helmets ever.
I wish I was still doing them, but I just heard that they wanted to stick to board sports like surfing and skateboarding, snowboarding, pretty much.
How did that relationship even start? Like, did they just reach out to you one day and they're like, hey, we want you to paint our helmets?
Yeah, pretty much. They reached out to me, and I knew a couple people that worked at Vulcan, and they knew me, so they came to me pretty much.
Kind of through like the surf industry.
Yeah. Like all the designs they gave me too were like their surf trunks.
Mm-hmm.
Their new surf trunks would come out on, they'd send me a piece of paper with photographs of it, or else they'd actually send me the surf trunk or just pieces of the material, and I would try to mimic it on a helmet.
Do you still have any relationship with any of the Vulcan guys, or
Not really.
no?
I haven't talked to them in years.
I was gonna say, I think they could make a comeback and we'll wear the helmets.
Yeah, that would be sick. Everybody wants them.
Exactly.
Everybody
I'm
wants
sure they
them.
could Vulcan. You could do good if you still did helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's again, I mean, that's what's crazy is like those were a long time ago, and I still hear all the time people think that those were the raddest helmets ever. It's such a bummer that they just kind of pulled out of it. But
yeah, I do a helmet for one little kid. He's like 11 years old, Caden BMX. He's super popular.
Yep.
They travel all over the world and do videos. And
he's got like a crazy YouTube following.
He's the only kid that they sponsor on a BMX bike, but that's because he's so popular and he's got all the sponsors, Hot Wheels, Vulcan, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. What, for somebody like yourself who was heavily involved in amateur motocross back in the day when, again, it was a heavy crowd like Villopoto and kids like that. What's your take on like how, the status of amateur racing back then and what amateur racing is today?
I don't really go to the races that much anymore. I'm so busy. I don't have time. I'm just working all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was when I started. I had more free time and I would go and, meet people and scout kind of. And plus I'm not riding anymore. So that is a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at the tracks as much as I used to be.
Do you still wish that you could recruit like up and coming amateurs?
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
It was cool meeting the families and, getting to know them, and the kids were stoked too.
Kind of building relationships.
Building a relationship and doing things that they like on their helmets and whatever.
But also one of the downfalls to that is a lot of these kids, you paint their helmets and take care of them up through the ranks, and then they end up landing a factory deal, and you don't get to paint their helmets anymore because they lock in a contract with somebody else.
Yeah, that's part of the process. So, they got to go where the money is to pay the bills, and all the energy drink sponsors, that's where they end up going.
Yeah.
That was actually leading into my next question. I was curious, like I'm sure you've painted probably in the past quite a few energy drink companies, right?
Yeah.
Is it I notice it like late, you don't anymore, correct?
I still do Rockstar.
Or do you do Rockstar? Oh, you do Rockstar.
Like Enduro, the Enduro guys has running.
Is it do you not like dealing with the energy drink companies, or is it more of a headache than the average person, or is it just a coincidence that you just don't really, they might use someone else? Or
no, it's fine. Like I said, they have to go where the money is to pay their bills, and
true.
I understand. And the energy drink companies have the money, so they got to go there. So, but I still do some Red Bulls also for enduro off-road riders, and like Caleb Russell, he just retired, but I was doing some for him. And one of my biggest riders was Kurt Caselli, but he passed away. He was the coolest dude ever, and I used to do his Red Bulls. And there's still some guys I do, but Red Bull has like their own painter, and Monster has their own painter. So, and Rockstar uses a couple different people.
Right.
Lately, I've had the opportunity to sort of hang out with you and get to know you a little bit better, just from hanging out at the shop recently, bugging you.
You're not bugging me.
So a lot of this stuff I sort of already know and have already heard. And one of the things that you've already told me is like a lot of the deals with those scenarios is, the riders could probably mention like, hey, I have a guy that already paints my helmets, but most times they probably just don't even want to get into that because they just want to sign their deal, collect their check, and not, be a headache.
Yeah.
But one of the real gangsters, one of the only ones to not do that was a fellow that we just had on here recently, Josh Grant. You've had to have painted like freaking 500 of his helmets or so. How has your relationship been with Grant?
I don't know if it's that many, but
I've seen quite a few on his wall in his room. And
yeah, we need to go over there still and do a video.
Yeah, we're going to.
Yeah, Josh is cool, and like everybody, like even Villopoto, when he was going to sign with Monster, I told him just have your manager put in your contract to sign that I'm your painter. But like you said, they just want to get the contract signed and make the money for their future.
Right. Not deal with the headaches, which is understandable, but
Josh was the only one that got it in his contract, but he wasn't young. He's already established and older and
right.
He understood a lot more.
He's a lot smarter.
Yeah.
He wasn't a kid, and he did it to help me out too.
That's cool.
How did your relationship start with Grant? Did you find him when he was a Grom too?
No, I didn't really know him when he was a Grom. I always looked up to him though when he was, Honda and stuff.
Yep.
I didn't even know him back then, but he was always throwing the fattest whips back in those days.
Oh yeah.
And
sick style.
Just locally, he has a shop right by me and stuff like that. And it was later on in his career when he was with Yamaha and Cowie and stuff.
Gotcha. Did he just call you one day and he's like, "Hey, Tag, like you got the sickest style in the game. What does it take to slap a paint job on these old
I probably
Chili's?"
approached him and asked him if I could paint him a helmet. That's what I usually do.
Right. He's pretty worth asking.
Yeah.
Are you sick of going to your local motorsports store and getting ripped off? Our guys over at mxboot.com got you covered. They hooked us up with a promo code to get you guys set up with some freshies. Use code INSIDERS at checkout for 10% off your next purchase of a new or used pair of boots. Their one-of-a-kind boot trade-in program allows you to get the most boot for your buck. Trade in any brand towards a new or used pair of boots in their inventory. Just send a few pictures of your boots to them on Instagram or Facebook, mxboot.com, to get an instant trade-in value. And check this out. A full line of Alpine Stars are available featuring the Tech 10s, Tech 7s, and Youth Tech 7s in tons of colors and sizes. Make sure to follow mxboot.com on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news like limited edition drops, used inventory, and featured deals. Definitely hit up mxboot.com. We use them for all of our needs. So hit up mxboot.com for all your needs. That was fucking hard. So, just almost a question just for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to assume that, half the people probably message you and either assume that they can get a deal on a paint job or somehow get one for free, or, what are the usual messages that you get? Are they dreamers, or are they, all serious people? Like, do you have to just weed out? I've got to assume that you've got to weed out dreamers all the time.
Yeah, everybody's different. There's a lot of dreamers that think they can get them for free, and everybody wants one for free, That's how the motocross industry is.
Right.
Everyone wants something for nothing.
Yeah.
But they don't realize how much work goes into it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
So even touch base on that a little bit. Like, when somebody hits you up and they want a custom painted helmet, what goes into it? How much time goes into it?
Yeah, to add on to that, like if they bring you a helmet, like how much time does it actually take to finish a helmet?
If I were to do one really detailed design, and if I was working just on that one helmet, it would probably take me like a week. Completed.
Okay. And that's like every day.
Yeah, but I can't make money doing it that way. I work on like 8 or 10 helmets at a time because you can only spray like one color a day pretty much.
Right.
And then let it dry and then do the next step. It's like a puzzle,
Right.
Got a back mask over the color you just sprayed, and it's just super time consuming.
Yeah, because you can only run just the one color through your gun, and then you've got to clean it. So, like, how many are you just running one color a day?
No, you do multiple colors and clean the gun in between every
Gotcha.
color and stuff. But
you probably have multiple helmets that have the same color.
not the same. I'm
No.
always changing it up. Yeah.
Oh.
I just have those helmets and I'm putting them aside, to dry for the next day or
Oh, okay.
later on in the day. If like I'm doing a neon color, that I could tape over that one and do that one the same day. But a lot of colors you can't. It just
Right.
depends on what you're using.
How many? How do I word this? How often is it that somebody hits you up and they want a custom painted helmet, but they either have their own specific idea for it, or they're just like, "Hey, Tag, I've seen a million of your helmets. Just do your thing."
Yeah, now that my Instagram is pretty big, a lot of people trust me and they like my stuff already, so I'll just get like but everybody's different. Some people have specific stuff that they've always wanted, and they never could afford a helmet or something, and
Right.
they want that look. And then some people just let me do my thing and they just tell me the colors and their name and number to put on and the basic stuff, and I always ask them like what brand of bike and stuff, so I get an idea too.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And I'm assuming the price range probably varies based off how much
Detail
and time has to go into it.
It goes from like $250 for a stock helmet with painting your name and number on it with nuclear, and then $650 for a basic design, and then it goes up.
Gotcha.
Just depends on how gnarly they want it.
And I mean, like I said, I've been hanging out at the shop lately, and it it's full. You've got helmets everywhere that are in the process.
Mm-hmm.
How many are like, damn, killing my synonyms tonight. I don't know how to word this shit. How many are, what would they be called? Like, I guess just normal buyers, like normal riders that are just hitting you up on Instagram, and like how many are teams and like corporate companies?
It's probably 50-50.
No
Close
shit.
to that. It just depends on what time of the year it is. Like Supercross is coming up, so, and it sucks because they get helmets from me every year, but they're always last minute.
Oh yeah,
Because they're waiting for their sponsors and
Right, waiting to finish
that always
deals.
happens, and it sucks. Then I got to rush. Like,
so December's not a good month for you as far as stress.
And I got Christmas helmets.
Right.
People are last minute. I'm turning down Christmas helmets already because I've got too many.
It's not even Thanksgiving. Damn.
Yeah, and I got Thanksgiving, that big race coming up at Glen Helen.
Oh, the day in the dirt.
Yeah.
That'll be
So
fun.
I have rushes for that too. And it's hectic. It's stressful for me to. Then I have to be there all the time, 7 days a week, and it sucks.
Yeah,
That's what's not fun about my job.
Yeah, and I mean, I've texted you recently and asked you if you were around at 7 p.m. just kind of taking a chance rolling through, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm here, stop by.
I'll probably be here till midnight.
Yeah, like and that's real. You were probably actually there till midnight.
I'm always clearing at night. Like even after this podcast, I'm going back to the shop to clear coat Brayton's helmet for a pair of Supercross and a couple of customers.
No shit. So you're just on, like, you don't stop. You're nonstop on the go.
Yeah, I can't because people are either, I don't know, people get mad at me, but they don't understand that I have to be there all the time to try to keep people happy. And it's like impossible.
Right.
And
you can't. It's hard to please everybody.
I don't have a big, huge crew. I don't have 50 employees or anything. It's just me, my son that helps me a ton, and one other painter.
Right.
That's
That is
a lot of work.
crazy to think about the volume of work that gets pushed out of there, considering it's, I mean, even again, every time I've been there recently, it's just you and Bronson.
Yeah. Well, my other guy used to be full-time, but now he's 3 days a week.
That's crazy. One thing I've always been curious about is obviously like painting you're passionate about and stuff, but with all the millions of freaking helmets that you've been painting, like, do you still have that same passion with every helmet that you used to have 15 years ago?
Yeah, even though I'm
Or is it
older
kind of
and-
just like, damn, this is just work? Or do you still get that same rush that you did 10, 15 years
It's probably
ago?
not as good as when I started
Right.
because I've been doing it so long now.
But you're still super passionate about it.
Yeah, I treat every helmet like if it was my own.
Yep.
And try to make it as sick as I can with the quality and the design part and everything.
Yep.
So it's not like mass produced or anything, it's all comes through my hands.
Right. And you're not just doing moto helmets. Like I've seen, what are some of the other stuff that you do besides just moto helmets?
We do pretty much any helmet. We just did a carbon hard hat.
Yeah.
See that?
That was
yeah,
badass.
that was
That was
rad.
cool. I like that.
And that's the first one I think I've done another one before, but not carbon. And a lot of, road racers, race car drivers. I'm trying to get more into auto racing because they have bigger budgets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
And I mean, even
But
again,
we used to do everything. We used to do a lot of Harleys, and I even did cars.
I've seen hoods in your shop.
$250,000 sand cars, and
How often do you do that stuff nowadays? Is it not as much?
I don't do it as much anymore. I don't really like to do it because it's not as artistic. It's more like sanding and polishing. And
More
it's not-
labor, less
it's-
creativity.
Yeah, it's not really my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it better money though?
Yeah, it is better money, but I'm just more known for helmets now. I'd rather do like 10 or 15 helmets than a sand car or something.
Right. So, we've even talked a little bit like trying to, reach out sort of out of the moto industry together and try to branch out into some other stuff. Even just off the top of your head, what are some random items or pieces or, stuff that you think that you could do for people, maybe influencers or, people in other sports?
Mm-hmm. Like you said, influencers paint them helmets, and that's good for your following and stuff, I guess.
Right.
And then, it's all about who you know. And
Right.
maybe they know some rappers or some other kind of artists,
Right.
And
So
grows.
so even with that, you're pretty much still strictly trying to keep it with helmets.
Yeah. But if someone like that approached me to do something big, I would do it just to build the brand,
Yeah. Didn't you do like a shield or something like that
Yeah.
for Jake Paul?
Yeah, I did Jake Paul's, it's like a Roman helmet. It was metal and a shield, and he had a sword and stuff.
That's sick.
And
How
that-
did that come about?
These guys just called me from Florida, like his managers.
Uh-huh.
A couple guys.
That's so badass.
And that was for like one of his walkouts for a boxing match or
Yeah.
something, wasn't it?
It was like...
I think it was it the last Woodley fight?
No, I don't think it was the last one. It was
The one before that. Yeah.
Yeah, is it like the weigh-in or something?
Maybe
Yeah.
Ben Askren or something.
Yeah, that's what it would have been.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's what's crazy is that's so rad. And like, a lot of people, even a lot of people listening to this probably don't like Jake Paul, but everybody knows who Jake Paul is. And
I'm starting to like Jake Paul. I didn't think I would, but
yeah,
I
mean,
didn't like him at first either.
I didn't
but,
either. But God, dude, his vision is very, very.
But,
he's not as
look
dumb
at
as
what
what
he's
people
done.
think.
already
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
he's
such a
doing
short-
everything the right
in
way.
such
You
a
can't
short
hate on that.
time. I mean, I know he talks, but that's how a lot of those fighters are.
That's what sells.
But
Right.
yeah, and that's how he's so popular now. And look at he just goes off on Dana White, and now he's getting the fights.
He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
Like
No, he's very smart.
he hasn't made much leeway with Dana White yet, but Dana
Yeah.
They're
does-
not going to be friends.
Dana has recently said like
He keeps
he's not an
burning him
idiot.
and stuff.
They actually someone caught Dana White at the last UFC fight, watching the boxing fight during the UFC fight.
Yeah, he was.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, and I don't think he was even trying to hide it. Dana's like,
No, it was in plain sight.
but he also won, I think, $500K on Canelo or $50K, or he won a good amount off
Right.
Canelo winning.
But you know damn well Dana watches all of Jake's
Oh,
fights.
for
You know what I mean?
sure.
Like he might act like he doesn't, but I think he's still a boxing fan.
For sure, and that's what's crazy is like, again, Jake Paul has a crazy following, and you painted that shield and sword and the mask or whatever,
Yeah.
and that was probably seen by millions of people, and there's probably a lot of people that noticed it and mentioned something about it, but
It wasn't that detailed or anything, though. It wasn't like my style. It was just,
Something simple.
wasn't it?
it was like what they wanted. It was just
Oh,
basic.
but either way, still, it was probably seen by a ton of people, but
Yeah.
unfortunately,
still
like
cool
they
to do.
didn't really,
Yeah.
it'd
To
have been
be
sick
a
if
part
you.
of it.
It'd have been sick if you could have threw your name down the one.
Yeah,
side
I was
of it.
I was curious with that. Like when they reach out, is that something that they just like they pay you retail and your name's not on it? Like is that kind of how it works, or like were you able to put your name somewhere on it, or
No, I didn't put my name on it.
was that your choice, or did that or is it
Well,
just not?
It was my choice. Just when it's something so simple and like that, anybody could have done it, really. But
True.
I'm just stoked to do it for a celebrity like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll
Come back
build
around
into
and-
something bigger. Yeah.
Right.
That'd be
Or he'll
cool.
come back to
Well,
me.
I'm sure
more
they'll
or something.
if they need something,
or
they'll
someone
come
that
back.
he knows because he's got millions of followers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll ask who did that or whatever.
So what? Just about yourself personally. What are some other stuff that you're into? I don't know what the heck this is. Some sort of bug crawling on our table. What are some other stuff that you're into besides painting helmets? Like what? Are you a sports fan? Are you into anything when you get home and you're away from work, which is probably at
Never.
2 a.m. and
I get home around 11.
Do you sleep?
Not really. That's a good question.
I honestly,
When I do sleep, I'm thinking about my customers' helmets and colors. And
The next paint job.
My mind doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I can't really sleep.
yeah, you're probably an insomniac.
I need to take some CBD gummies or something.
Something.
We can help you out with that.
We can help you out with that.
Ironic.
Yeah.
Yep. That was actually one of the sickest paint jobs I've ever had that you did for Brent for me.
Yeah.
Man, that was a
I'm working
badass
on a new
helmet.
one for Brent. He's mad at me because it's taking so long. He keeps telling me about his helmet in Florida with spiders in it or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe after Brent watches this one, he'll understand a little bit.
Understand the schedule.
It's almost done.
We're sorry, Brent. It's coming. We're not trying
At least
to
he
keep
still
tag away
got
from
his.
it.
Unless he crashed. He might have crashed in it. I don't know.
But yeah, my mind doesn't stop. I think about all the customers and what I have to get done and deadlines. It sucks.
But so you're not watching sports?
No, I am. I watch football.
We're going to go ahead and send you home with this, by the way.
My son's totally in. He sent me a box.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. My son's totally into football, and he like keeps me up on everything.
Mm.
And then I love, like a lot of people, Drive to Survive, the F1 drivers, auto racing and stuff.
Do you follow a lot of the F1 stuff?
Yeah, I have the channel and stuff, so I watch it late at night and see, how the races went, or I listen to it on the phone or something.
That's cool.
I think that's the ultimate goal is we got to get you a couple top F1 drivers and get those contracts, and then we're chilling.
That's like the top
Well,
elite.
On that note, how do we get Ricardo to run one full time?
I know. I just messaged him because I recently, he's buddies with Hunter Lawrence. They're both from Australia and Jet. And I've been painting Hunter's, as you probably know, until he signed with Red Bull. But I just did and I painted one of Ricardo's designs on a Hunter's helmet. And then I just did one for Ricardo. They're going to, I guess him and Hunter are riding at a motocross track, and they're going to have it on Drive to Survive. I guess they're going to do like a Ricardo episode, and they'll probably show it just for a second. But
That is
rad.
cool. That'd be pretty sick if they're
hopefully they can see my name.
right.
It's the honey badger helmet, right?
Yeah.
It says, yeah, that one was badass.
Yeah, that'd be real sick if they're both wearing.
I
it.
didn't design it, but I have to copy his race car.
Right? Did they already shoot that?
Yeah.
So Hunter was wearing his too, I would assume,
I don't know.
because the Red Bull deal is fairly new.
I hope he did.
He better,
But
at least for that.
no, he signed with Red Bull already after they shot it. But
That's what I'm saying. It was
it'd be
after.
cool if he wore it, with them.
Yeah,
so they're
I'm
both
sure he
wearing
did.
them.
I'm excited to
I
see
don't know
it.
yet.
It's probably on next season, right?
Yeah, January they said Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that.
That'll be pretty cool.
That show made me a fan of F1. I'd never even really paid attention to it before that.
I've always liked
I think it made everyone a fan.
Yeah.
I told Ryan to watch it.
yeah, that's literally
I'm like, dude,
what,
trust me, watch this. And now he's diehard fan.
Yeah,
I've always
that's what
liked
got
it
me
and
into it.
been into it, but now that they have this show, it's even cooler because it's full behind the scenes.
Dude, and it's just so in depth. Like,
Yeah.
you literally hear the drivers cussing at each other, trying to fight each other, the teams, like the sketchiness behind the scenes. Like, that's ideally what,
It's like real
Moto
life.
should be like.
I know.
It is real life.
If they had that in Moto, you know how much bigger motocross would be?
Right. Well,
That's the goal.
they showed the attendance stats, the attendance stats from that Texas round at of
Oh, that was
F1.
badass.
And I guess it was like the last time they had it, the attendance was like 200,000 people or something, and this time it was like 450,000 or
It's 'cause of
something
the
crazy.
show.
It's because of the show. So
Oh, absolutely.
and kind of like what Dylan just said it gives such a sick perception on or perspective on what's really going on behind the scenes, and like it shows that the team managers are savage. They're pretty ruthless on.
I was going to say they're cutthroat.
Yeah,
Oh, they're so cutthroat.
they don't.
That
give
might be
a
that
shit.
sport's more cutthroat than Moto.
Yeah.
it's
And
gnarly.
Moto's been the most cutthroat. But like super weird comparison, but like back when McAdoo freaking crashed at the Atlanta was it Daytona or Atlanta? Atlanta, and you know how Starr tried to protest or whatever because he wasn't supposed to race because of the red flag.
yeah.
Like if that was F1, they would have showed the team managers and everyone talking to each other about that incident. Like that would have been sick. Like to hear everyone's everyone's point of view, everyone yelling at each other, like all.
I would have loved to hear
that's
those
what I'm saying.
conversations that were going on back there.
And that's what needs to happen. I don't know why everything's so private, and it's like, what are you hiding?
Yeah, they do it in
It's nothing
F1.
that cool.
They do in F1. You
Yeah,
hear
biggest
the
motorsport in the
penalties
world.
They get, everything.
Yeah, and even like
Or they just drop racers and go pick up some new kid that's playing video games.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Influencer video gamer.
Is that what Norris was doing? Is that what?
Lando?
Yeah.
All those
I don't
guys
think so.
do that.
I don't know.
He
Well, they all
was-
simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh yeah.
But still, yeah. Essentially,
They're all
that's
kart racers, and
that's
they have
basically-
simulators, and
Oh yeah, and even the
learn the
dudes that
track.
don't have rides, they practice on the sim and wait for the phone call if someone gets COVID or hurt or. But I don't know if Lando did that.
probably.
I'm pretty sure
It's-
that's how Alonso got back into the racing scene.
Yeah, he retired.
He retired, and
And
then
now
I
he's
think
back.
he came back as a fill-in, and now he's back.
right. I was just talking about this with BG, the cartoon artist.
Yeah.
Shout out to BG. He does a bunch of stuff for us.
Can't wait to see the new stuff.
Yeah, he's working on some new logos for us. Thank heavens. So I was just talking about it with BG. Is like, think about how much of a disadvantage that like motocross and supercross riders are at, just because they're not able to, set up a merch tent in the pits
I was just gonna bring that up.
and sell their own shit.
Like at the F1 races, the drivers get to have their own merch tents, and they sell out like the
Really?
half of the
Oh
day.
yeah,
didn't know that.
100%.
That's
They're
sick.
I have
They're
a friend that was at the last race in Texas, and he said they sold out like the first day before it was even over.
they're probably like, again, I have no idea here, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Ricardo and like those top dudes are probably cashing out like $50K
On merch.
Or more.
a day or a weekend on merch.
That's sick.
So think about it, like you're not even
Yeah, at the races, you can't sell anything in the
no,
pits.
That's what I
Nope,
was gonna say.
FIM doesn't let you do
No.
any of that.
You can't even give certain shit out,
I
like
was-
energy drinks.
I was gonna get a booth once at Supercross at Anaheim, and I looked
Mm-hmm.
in on it, and they wanted me to give them $10,000 just for a
Advertisement.
little 10x10 booth, and I couldn't sell any of my merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what?
All I could do.
Well, everyone's gonna look and then hopefully buy it online. Like,
Uh,
no, you know how many people want to buy in the moment,
Right.
Like, I've see shit and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy it. But if I have to go get it online, I'm not gonna go buy it.
No.
All I could do is hand out stickers, and give them a flyer or whatever.
$10,000 to hand out stickers.
Makes a lot of sense.
You're spending $10,000 to hand out stickers. That like
I said, no, that's okay.
that doesn't.
That's an expensive ass sticker.
yeah. That just doesn't.
So if they
Seems
did
like
it,
there's
So what's that,
something
like
missing there.
$400 a sticker or something?
so if
Yeah.
they did it the other way, like F1, and everybody, all the top riders could sell their own merch there, and
It would make it to where the riders
You know,
would
but-
actually make some money, even if they didn't
Yeah.
win.
They're
Well,
not-
here's
You know
my
what I mean?
question: why not?
Right.
Like, what could an actual reason be? Because it'd probably take away from their sales. Like they sell T-shirts and stuff in the stadiums, and they probably get the income from that. Unless that's stadium money. I'm not really
Yeah,
sure how that
but-
works.
yeah, but it'd bring more people, and I think, and they
Oh,
would
God,
buy
yeah.
Way more.
their merch plus the riders' merch, and
Yeah.
Imagine having
But
the
why-
opportunity to buy a T-shirt from Jet Lawrence and then go stand in another line and have him sign it.
Exactly. So that circles back to my point. Like, why not? I don't
that
get the
makes
problem.
total sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Buy a merch from your
Makes
favorite
sense
rider, and
for
then
everyone.
go stand in the line and have them sign it.
Right.
Get pictures with them, whatever.
Yeah. Is that greed from FIM, or I would love to know that.
I don't know. Sometimes I've
You
always
want me
wondered.
to say names? I don't want to get in trouble.
Right. I mean, and I don't.
Write
and
it
I
down
don't want
on
to
the paper
badmouth
for me, I'll say
FIM because I need their help this year, and we have some friends.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
but
I
think
don't,
it might be the stadium itself.
I don't want to badmouth any of them. It's just like, that is a question to be raised, right?
I might ask that question.
Like, I
I
mean,
don't
I'm sure they get asked. They've got to get asked that all the time, or at least questions similar to that. Because again, look at Anderson. If Anderson was to show up and set up a Team Fried tent, I guarantee he would absolutely cash
Dude,
out.
Team Fried merch would go off.
He would cash out that night.
All those guys would if they had their own
Yeah.
stuff there.
Dean Wilson,
Yeah,
would,
realistically,
Eli
they all
Tomac
would.
would.
I mean, Dino.
Ken
I don't
Roczen
know.
would. Cooper
Rider
Webb
wise,
would.
other than maybe Team Fried, Dino probably does the
They
best
could
with merch.
promote
Don't you
their,
think?
Mhm.
even if they're not doing a lot of merch now, they could start it and promote it. And
Every one
would
of those
kill
dudes
it.
would do good.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't really know that was a thing in F1. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, Jet Lawrence
For everybody.
does his own merch, and he just doesn't do it at the track. He just kind of does it on his own, and obviously he has a little bit different clientele. I mean, when your clientele is mostly 17, 16-year-old girls, you're probably going to cash out
It's
every
like going
drop.
to a Justin Bieber concert when he was like 15.
Yeah, like his bank account, around those drop dates are probably
Looking pretty
chilling. Yeah. But granted, he does it in a really good way. He makes pretty good, stylish merch, and
he has donuts.
When he's so involved. I love that.
Well, that's also I've seen this bug flying around for the last hour. It's
Catch
been
it.
driving me nuts.
You need some protein. He didn't
off.
race. He didn't race very well over the weekend. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. But that is one of the that's also one of the things BG and I were talking about is like all these dudes want to like, with all due respect, not trashing on anybody here, but the typical merch design for like these racers are like, again, I'm not, I'm just using this as an example, but like a Cooper, so a letter C, a letter W, a number 2, and then a picture of him doing a whip behind it. Mm-hmm. It's 2021. People don't want to wear that shit. Now, Jet Lawrence dropping a t-shirt with a donut on it, all of a sudden that has a little bit of design to it. That has like, oh, well, I'll wear a t-shirt with a donut on it.
Right.
Probably before you're going to wear a picture of Cooper Webb doing a whip on the back. You know what I mean? It's just a different age. Like,
yeah, that's kind of like what I said from the beginning is when I approach all the helmet brands that make their designs more up to date. It's the same kind of thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. What do they say when you tell them that?
Oh, they think their stuff's so sick they don't want to.
Do they get offended sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably all.
I just explained to them, hey, your stuff is outdated. It's
with all due respect, it's shit.
Your helmet's good, but I guarantee if I put my design and name on it, you'd sell way more.
Right.
Well, and that's already a statistic, right? Like it's already doing that.
I already have proof with other companies I've done it with.
Yeah, I've got to assume the Tagger bells do.
They're always their best sellers.
Yeah, they've got to do great.
Yeah. Wait, so isn't I know you painted helmets for JG, but his replica Shoeies, isn't that your paint job as well?
No, I didn't do that one.
Oh, you didn't do those? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
They had in-house Japanese guy do it.
Oh, okay. Because I know they're his like signature helmets, but I never saw your logo on it. I thought you did paint it.
I did the bar show one a while back.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then
you did two different colors,
and then
right?
right when the bar show one came out, he freaking switched to Arai or something.
That's right. Yeah, so. He did. He went from Shoei to Arai, which Arai is like the ugliest helmet, I think.
Easy guy. I'm just kidding.
Why did you wear it?
No. No. They kind of look like a space helmet.
Again, I'm not throwing.
They used to be one of the safest.
The guys at Arai won't change. I've tried a ton of times to help them, but
no, it's a very, very outdated helmet. But I heard that like back in the day, safety wise, they were one of the safest helmets.
But
I don't think the technology's changed in the last 20 years.
It's never changed.
No,
it's just a cue ball.
It's kind of like Olean's suspension.
In your opinion, what are the best helmets?
I'm not gonna say it because I've designed for them, but Bell, because I mean, I have families that call me and ask me, in my opinion, what's the safest helmet for their kid. But I'm not gonna get really into it.
Yeah,
right.
But I try to steer them the right way. But kids have smaller heads, and I don't know what Bell's doing. If you've seen the Moto 10, you have, and those things are pretty revolutionary, I think.
Yeah.
It took them a long time to fully finish developing.
But I think
helmet.
it's going to be the best helmet coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Just
it's super comfortable
all
too.
The safety features, the comfort. Mm-hmm. I've talked to a couple guys that have worn it already. Some of my customers, and the airflow, how it goes through it, and the lightness of it, everything.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan. That's currently what I wear at the moment.
But
super comfortable.
Everybody has their own opinion, so.
And not to switch it up, but. Shout out to WTP Motorsports and Fly Racing. I am now a very proud, I'm not going to say athlete, but
you're an athlete, Ryan. Accept it.
Novice vet rider for Fly Racing. So thank you to Dalton and the Fly guys for taking care of me and WT Motorsports. So, what is your opinion on the Fly helmet? Because there's a good chance I'm going to be in one of those.
I think the Fly helmets are good now. I think they've come a long way. I used to wear one when I first started painting helmets, but now it's really, I think it's a lot better, and it's all carbon, and I haven't worn one because I don't ride anymore, obviously, but.
Yeah, I tried one on at.
I gave you one to try, right?
Yeah, at your shop a few days ago, and I was actually like really impressed by it.
They're super comfortable.
Pads felt good. It was pretty light. Like I need to ride with it on first.
Yeah,
but
you'll like it.
It felt really good.
You'll like it. I've had a horse story crash with one on, and like the crash, and I should have been probably broken face, out cold. I maybe saw a couple stars. Like I was totally fine in the fly helmet. So that thing's definitely super safe.
Yeah.
I back that helmet for sure.
I mean, any helmet you can have a bad experience if.
Oh yeah, I know someone.
It
That's,
just depends on the crash you have.
yeah, everyone's been knocked out in any helmet.
Yeah, I know.
But
Yeah, I love bells, but I have taken a nap in one.
yeah, and I mean,
That's what we were saying. Like, you could be wearing any helmet. It just depends on how hard or
Yeah.
the way you crash.
yeah, how hard your head is. But yeah, there's no helmet out there. I don't think that. I mean, the Alpine Star is a lot newer, but I've heard of someone snoozing in every brand.
Really?
Yeah.
The Alpine Stars is a damn good helmet.
That was a damn good helmet. I was a huge fan of that one. I loved how light it was.
Yeah.
It was the lightest helmet out there.
It's light. It looks cool too, the shape of it and everything.
Yeah.
It's different.
This could be a. You're fully cool to not answer this if you don't want to, because I don't want to get you in trouble. But
Ooh.
if you could say based off of opinion, what is the ugliest helmet that is on the market? I'll say
we just covered that.
We
Did you?
All right.
All right.
I don't think they're the ugliest.
Okay.
What?
I personally don't. I'm
not going to answer this question because you never know what the future holds.
I mean, I'm down to drop it because, I mean,
It's what I said earlier, right?
There's no disrespect to them whatsoever, but it's a deal where unless they were to come out with a totally redesigned helmet, you couldn't pay me enough to wear it.
There's a lot of them.
Is it LS2?
You said it, not me.
Shit. We did talk about that earlier, and like, I'm not saying. I mean, I don't know. I've never worn one, but looks wise, no.
I just don't understand why they make it.
It looks
that.
like a dinosaur.
Yeah, like
in a helmet.
Like why? Like why do you make it like that? There's so many other ways and other curves and other styles that they could make it, and they ended up with that.
I think it's a super Euro brand. And the Euros go with a lot of sharp shapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that must be it because
That's
it is
part
sharp.
of it, and I think a lot of it too is, you know, a lot of helmets are made in China, like everything. And when helmet companies just start, they don't have time to develop their own helmets and design them and stuff. It's a lot of tooling and stuff.
Yep,
takes time and money. They just get like
templates, kind of.
Stuff
they combine a couple
stuff that they already have.
Yeah,
kind of, and they mash it together.
Yeah, like take a Shoei, a bell, and an Arai, and just kind of pulled it together.
Or that company wherever, and they already have these shells, and you just pick one of them, and then you know, that's just when they're starting though, and then they start evolving. It takes forever, you know.
Yeah.
Look how long Bell's been in business.
Yeah,
is crazy.
Forever, and not
In the
just
50s?
well, and they're probably even bigger in like Harley stuff, and you know what I mean? Like,
and
like non-motorcycle, like not even dirt bike related.
Everything.
So
my first helmet ever was a Bell, a German McGrath replica Bell.
What about Arai though? They've been around forever too.
Yeah,
they have.
they have.
So is the technology.
But they haven't evolved.
so is the technology. Yeah. What's your opinion on like Fox helmets, or even just like companies that they make full gear sets and the helmet? Like I feel like companies that are designated to only helmets are usually probably a little bit better, but
Quality,
like I'm about to wear a fly and they make everything. So, do you think that the companies that only specialize in helmets, like technically 6D, Shoei, Bell, do you think that their technology is better, or do you not so much, or what's your opinion on that?
Well, they used to be like that. Like a lot of the gear companies, like Thor had the worst helmets.
Oh, dude. Back in the day, the Thor one. You tip over the corner, you're probably going to sleep.
Oh, my God. I did wear
I
one.
used to paint them for Villopoto.
They were so heavy back in the day.
There's a lot to them.
They're just cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're probably right. The brands that are just solely a helmet company, they put more into it, because
that's all they do.
That's all they do. That's their brand.
Right.
Yeah.
And the gear companies are just filling the void probably with their gear and making a helmet so that people can buy the whole set. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're getting better, the gear companies too, like Fly, like you said, and Alpine Star. And
yeah. Do you pay attention to like the safety and stuff, or you just
Because I always have, like I told you, the parents ask me
people
questions.
are always asking. Yeah.
What should I get for my little girl or whatever?
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, one thing I can back with flies, them having WPS behind them, financially, they're not like, they're not, you know, just gear and they're just like trying to have a helmet to match and stuff. Like everything they do is, you know, all out, 100% effort. So I feel like they financially are more than stable enough to create a very safe helmet.
They're not hurting.
They're not hurting in any way, shape, or form. So that's why I feel like their helmet is very, very good.
Yeah. I'm actually really stoked to get mine in and maybe even slap a custom paint job on it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I know a guy.
Yeah. I've been hanging out with a guy that might be able to help me out.
If I had like 10 more of me, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That's what I was going to say earlier is when you're like talking about how busy you were, and I was going to add in like, yeah, and then you got me just hanging out, like waiting for my helmet to come in and just add another one to you. But at least I'm not in any huge rush like everybody else.
So Ryan, how artistic are you? You ever paint?
Oh man. I mean, I could probably mask stuff off and like I could contribute,
You
but
should have came to my paint class.
I know I should have, but I
Well,
was
maybe
racing,
you could get him in there and show him how to do it so he could help you out a little bit.
I was racing at Glen Helen
Oh,
and
yeah, you're
I was
gone.
I was your
You were gone crashing for the
I was your
weekend.
sponsored rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my first paint class ever. It was pretty cool. It was a 3-day class. I had like 14 students.
Yeah, and you had a
Damn, that's a lot.
You had a guy from Ecuador, right?
Yeah, guy from Ecuador came to learn. He was cool. He didn't speak a lot of English. It was hard to communicate, but
Just like left or right,
but
like
he
just
was cool.
motions.
I could tell. No, there was a couple of guys that spoke Spanish and they could understand a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this guy
That,
from New Mexico and
That is one thing that I think is super sick about you because I feel like, I mean, I don't know many other helmet painters, but I feel like they're probably, especially ones as experienced and established as
yeah,
you,
that's why I brought it up. We could get in this whole thing.
they're nobody's probably down to like teach
people?
anybody else their style or like, or they're afraid that they're going to catch on to their style. You know what I mean? Like, I don't,
Yeah, we talked.
No one
about
wants
it.
the student to become the master.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's stupid to think that way
It
because,
is.
like, I worked for a couple guys before I started my own business, and they think they're secretive. You know, they're gonna take my business or whatever. You know how long it takes to get your own style and build your brand and do all that stuff. It's like
Right.
they're
Too
never
long.
gonna be able to catch up to you.
Yeah. Like,
When everyone has different styles.
Yeah.
well, and that's what like we, you know, again, we've already talked about this, but like, you know, one of those guys from that just took your paint class, they're not going to go start up a helmet painting company and just
No.
go get monster
They
contracts.
just want to
and-
do it as a hobby and learn.
Yeah,
something.
it takes way too long to.
Yeah, like a couple guys told me they got injured. They ride motocross. They had knee surgery, and they just wanted to learn something while they had all that downtime.
Right. And how rad
That's
is it
cool.
to come learn it from one of the best in the game?
So it was cool. I just showed them everything that they wanted to know, and I gave them all older helmets that I had, and dusted them off. And they started from prepping it
Oh, that's cool.
to laying out a design, which is probably the hardest part. But they only had 3 days, so the helmets were all getting messed up because people were painting color and
Not letting
and
it
then
sit.
taping it right after, like a couple hours, because they wanted to take it home.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them probably like 100 times the whole class, you have to let the paint dry, but I know you guys only have 3 days, so that's why this is happening.
Yeah.
Did anyone impress you?
Yeah, this one guy, it came out really good. It's that one you took video of.
Yep.
It's pretty
You
legit.
have on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Actually, yeah. If you want to know what we're talking about, it's the green and yellow. It's not a moto helmet. It's like
It's a biker helmet.
Yeah.
It's old school, like with the scales, and it's all flaked out with flames. And I helped him a little. He laid it all out. It's like a paneling style helmet, you know, old school. And then we showed him how we do a lot of our shapes and stuff in vinyl, also off the computer to the plotter.
Yep.
So if they get really serious in the future, they need one of those. It's a good tool to have. So we cut out some flames for him and some scales and then spider webs, I think.
he killed it. He did a really good job.
Yeah, and he did super good. And I painted like one little section of fan for him in
Yeah.
one of the sections, and then he did the other side, and then I did a little fade. He just tried to copy it. And
Yeah.
It came out sick.
Yeah, and if you want to see that, that's on Tagger Designs TikTok. Go ahead and give that a follow. We're
He probably had the best helmet.
That's cool. Are you still a fan of the fin on the back of the helmets? Or do you not like that
were
anymore?
you ever a fan?
Were
of
you
the
ever
fin?
a fan of the fin on the back of the helmets?
I actually had one on mine back in the old days, but not really.
No. Do
Probably-
people still ever have you put them on though?
Not very often.
Not very often.
Yeah.
it's got to just be a pain in the ass.
That's not that bad.
You just glue it on,
Yeah,
don't you?
It's like 2-sided tape.
Oh shit! So it's not
The
that
new
hard.
ones.
Yeah.
But the old TLD ones were like, I think they were 2-sided tape too, right?
Yeah. I
That's
had
funny.
one. I had one when I was like 12 or
I
something.
think everybody had one at some time. Did you have
Yeah.
one?
You weren't fast if you didn't have one.
No, then I didn't have one. Thank you.
Yeah, but I was a slow vet rider, and I still wanted to look fast.
Well, yeah, I didn't actually go fast, but
I feel like the
looked it.
fin on the helmet back in the day was kind of like the speed shades nowadays. Like when people wear the speed shades, you know, like damn, slow down, you look fast.
Yeah,
That's
but I
the
feel
fin
like-
back in the day. It just wasn't exaggerated like that. But
Yeah, the fin was,
You were fast
probably
with the
taken
fin.
a little bit more serious. But I know what you're saying. That's
yeah, but the fin was fast.
yeah, that's a
It's
good.
like having a
comparison.
wing on your car.
exactly.
Yeah, literally aerodynamics.
Nice spoiler.
So are you going to do more of those classes? Like for anybody watching that, wants to someday paint their own helmets? Is there more opportunity for
Yeah,
that?
I'd like to. I mean, it was cool. I thought it'd be easy, but I had another instructor, this other guy, Frank, and he's a really good artist too. It was kind of hectic though, and like at the end of the day, I was so burnt out, more than just working by myself doing helmets and stuff,
Right.
I was gonna say, where'd you find time?
I had to take 3 days off,
Oh shit.
and then
Which aren't
'cause I'm
actual
like,
days
I
off.
have to speak up, and usually I'm a pretty quiet guy, and
Right.
so you have to speak up for all those people, and my shop was super crowded, and it was cool though. I mean, it was tiring, but it was worth it.
That is
and
cool.
Everybody was stoked, so that's why I did it. To teach someone something, and they go home and they're happy, and they have learned something.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, you probably helped grow a passion for a whole bunch of people, you know?
Those guys have already been DMing me, asking me when's the next class and stuff like that too.
Right.
You're like,
There you
shit,
go.
I don't know. I got to get my things in order.
No, that's what
Yeah.
I told him. I go, don't even ask me that right now. I need some time.
Not
to
this year, maybe
recoup
next
and
year.
Get back to work, and then I'll think about it, and you'll see it when I post it or whatever.
Maybe next year.
But again, that is super rad because I've never heard of anybody in really any avenue trying to, teach other people their style and their knowledge
their
and
talents.
their talents. Right.
I think it's cool to do. Give back.
Right. That's super rad.
And rare, because no one wants to give. Everyone just give, no give, just take.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to see like that.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I'm pretty humble, and
I see that. I'm
I'm not like a lot of the painters, so
right.
try not to be.
Yeah. And that's one thing that, I've already grown to appreciate about you is like, like I asked before, like this industry, everybody wants something for free.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, people don't want to really give anything back for it, which, I could easily name a couple people that,
Yeah, even some of my riders,
yeah,
they only call me when they need a helmet.
they,
When
right.
They should be, trying to build a relationship with me and be friends. And
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to
then
me
I'm more
that-
I could probably
sto-
guess someone that
Then
takes
I'm more
advantage.
stoked to paint for them and work together. Keep a relationship going.
Right. Make it to where when
Not-
they're calling your phone, you don't already know what they're calling for.
There's a lot of them like that. I'm like, oh, he's calling me. He needs a new helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't just call to check in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's business?
And the
my
problem-
shop is right by the track,
Yeah.
and I see that they're riding there, and they don't even stop by.
Right.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
Stop by for 10 minutes and say, what's up?
Right. And it frustrates me because it's not like they're even, tagging
Like
you
I
on-
told you when I was young in the 80s, I was a pro surfer, and I didn't have social media or anything then, but now that I'm older and wiser, I wish I would have gone to my sponsors more and became more buddies with them.
Yeah.
I was-
That goes a long way.
But I wasn't like that then either. I didn't think like that. For one, I was super shy and quiet, and I was just focused on trying to get my sponsors to travel the world and stuff.
Yeah.
And I should have been thinking about those kind of things, how it would have been a lot better. Now that you think back, you're like,
Yeah.
I can't change that now, though.
Right.
But now as,
I know.
as you're a sponsor to a whole bunch of riders, and this is,
I
this
can't
is,
really tell kids that, though, with that ride even,
no, but it's a
Makes
good,
me seem weird. Like,
it's a good lesson for anybody listening
Right.
to sort of be had that like, hey, if you have somebody who is,
it's about building relationships.
yeah,
It is.
if you have somebody who's supporting you at all, like it is good to, it's good to build a relationship. You have no idea what could come from it, and even if nothing ever does, it's sort of a respect thing. Like, and that's where just even like what you do, it takes a lot of time and effort. Like, and it's taken you years to get to this point. Like,
forever.
What the job that you're doing is not just a time value thing; it's a talent value thing too. So like for you to do a free helmet paint job for somebody, you better be getting something out of that. They better be fucking tagging you on Instagram as much as they can. They better be stopping in and trying to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, and
customers don't realize how many years, I put into it and my style and all that stuff that goes with it.
Right. So if you're Hash Boy, where are you going? Your battery die?
Dude, this guy's so unprepared.
No, that's actually
No.
I was actually going to give him credit before you said that, because
Look at Hash
that's
Girl's doing better.
She's killing it. Hers might be dead too.
No, it's good.
All right, yeah. See, all I'm asking is for you to be better.
that he actually made me charge the batteries beforehand. He was actually on top of it. I just didn't get that one charged in time.
It happens. I like how you ducked below the camera and stood up like right in front of it.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was cool.
Hash Boy's killing it. Young Grom in the cut.
Well, I have
Hey, at least he brought some newer, better talent.
I
so.
still have my phone on. And
We'll fire you.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hey, maybe we'll fire Hesh and keep Bowl Boy and keep her on.
Yeah, that's what what we were saying before.
Yeah, she seems
fire
she's more
Hesh?
motivated. Yeah,
We're firing Hash too.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, dude, you're out. You're cut.
Sorry, dude.
Ejectocito, cuz. Oh, it's funny.
When I first started, how I gave away free helmets to all the locals, and
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Yeah. So how did you get started getting your name out there? Like, what was your method of getting known?
well, I started with nothing. I took a loan out on my house and got my shop, the same shop I'm in now. I've been there 18 years, but the first year, I rode still then, and I knew a lot of local pros like Sleater and tons of guys, and I was just painting free helmets for the first year. So I was making nothing. I was losing money. But after that first year, the second year, Fox and all these companies were calling me. Then I got that's when Carmichael was riding for him and Stewart, and I was doing their helmets for like Motocross the Nations, and they did matching gear and all kinds of cool opportunities came to me.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
first
because you
year I was-
designed that set of Fox gear, right?
Yeah, kind of, in the helmets too. So it all came together.
That's sick. That's got to be pretty cool
And
to
that's
look
how I
back
got
on
my
that.
brand out there. I mean, I lost my ass on it, but I didn't have money to do advertising and stuff back then. So.
Right.
Well, it made up for it in the long run, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just kind of did the route like any company starting out,
Right. Well, and you probably had confidence in yourself that it would all come back full circle.
Yeah, I did.
How many would you say that you had to give away?
I don't even know.
Is it
Like
a lot?
over 10?
No, it was probably like, I wasn't just doing pros, I was doing amateurs too.
Right.
Probably like
Roughly.
50 or 75.
Holy shit.
Damn.
That's a lot. And that's a lot of, like you said, one helmet with full efforts
Yeah.
at least a week.
Yeah, but I was working on multiple too.
Oh, so you did that back then too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because before I started my business, I worked for another paint company, and they were in Deep Riverside, where Milestone used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Those businesses right there.
Yeah.
And they were huge, and they did all the custom Harleys.
That's
And
cool.
They had over 100 employees just lined up, airbrushing and painting
Damn.
Harley parts.
That's cool.
That
And
would
then
be
they
sick.
hired me. I actually called them and said, because I saw their ad, and I go, "You guys need some help with your helmet designs and stuff." So I went and met them, and they hired me the next day. And they made me in charge of like their helmets, and they sponsored some guys and stuff. And then I got to pick out like 2 of the artists that they already had and to help me out. 'Cause
That's cool.
They had tons of helmets to do, and so that was like production though, and it was gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as like in all of the art world, like who was your biggest inspiration, or like what style, like is there anyone that you looked up to or inspired you the most to?
Like another artist.
Yeah.
I always looked up to Troy Lee.
That's a good one.
Because he's the originator, of painting motocross helmets, and his stuff was the coolest designs then,
Right.
Yeah.
When I first started, I would look at pictures of his helmets and emulate, like his flames or the way he laid out stuff. And then when I got good enough, then I kind of started my own. I knew I didn't want to. A lot of painters stick to the same stuff all the time, like their style never changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like TLD's still good, but his stuff still looks the same as when I used to copy him.
Right.
And if I started my own business, I wanted to have a totally different look, like come from my surf background.
Yep.
And so I'm always changing the style, like the Vulcan stuff. I still do some of that, and then I do like intricate road racing style,
Yep.
tons of detail and points, and we can do anything, but I didn't want to have the same look all the time. I wanted to be able to offer anything.
Right.
So when people look at my IG or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, he can do like lots of things, not just one thing."
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen almost every, not every, but I've seen so many different variations of things.
Even hand-drawn paint pen stuff and all different kinds of stuff. We do portraits.
What's your favorite thing, like your go-to on almost most helmets, like your most consistent?
Everybody always asks me that, and I don't really have a favorite.
No. Or is there any consistency in your helmets when you look at them, like something that you're like, oh shit, you know what? There is something that I do almost every.
I think, the paneling helmets, like I was telling you, the student did. I've been doing those, like the Hunter Lawrence ones I did.
Yep.
I think those are probably my favorite. Just, I know it's not something new, but I'm taking something old from like the Harley days and stuff.
Right.
And
Bringing it
doing
back.
it on a new helmet and
Kind of modernizing it.
Yeah, modernizing it and using the helmet outlines to have the design in it, like the Alpine Star helmet. It
Right.
looks pretty sick when you take every helmet's different shape.
Yeah.
And
The
lines
A
of
stars
helmet.
do look really good done up.
Yeah. And when
With
you
a
do-
good paint job.
The shell's just very, very good to paint on, I feel like.
So that old school paint job looks pretty sick, with the leafing and the flaking and pinstriping or whatever. That's probably one of my favorites right now.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to like them too. It's just too much work.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of have time for this shit right now. That's
It's
a
like-
2-month helmet.
That's what sucks is I try new stuff and it's like it takes even longer and longer because it's more intricate.
Yep.
I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, right.
Just making it worse for myself.
Do you have any kids that you sort of have an idea of that you're a fan of as of now? Like even Supercross kids or amateurs, like is there anybody on your radar?
Yeah, there's lots of upcoming riders and rookies and stuff. I watch all that stuff and still. There's too many to name. I mean, there's a lot of it's not really just the results, a lot of it like we were talking about.
Yeah. Personality,
It's
professionalism.
personality and being more mature for how young they are.
Yep. Marketable.
And not being a loudmouth like Paul or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Who do you think's the next superstar?
Someone that, deserves it.
Right.
It's not just flaunting it and has a factory ride already, like as an amateur and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. Is there anybody that?
You see as the next superstar?
Yeah.
Between, like the
Well-
LeBlancs, the Deegans, the freaking
Yeah.
Jet Reynolds, like that whole group.
Yeah.
Ryder D.
I don't really know. I mean, Deegan's good. Obviously. All those guys are good. It's just if they don't get injured.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's we've talked about it a little bit lately.
It's
like
hard to pick because you never know what's going to happen.
right.
Yeah.
You got to have like
Right, like look at Chance Hymas. Like he's 16 and he is an absolute monster right now. But the question that always gets brought up is, is this kid gonna go on and just dominate, or it's not a if he gets hurt, it's when.
like look at Cincerillo.
Right.
His
Yeah.
first year, I thought he was for sure going to win the Supercross title.
Well, yeah, it was the next
He
Carmichael,
won
and then
like 3 in a row. Or
yeah.
4 in a row.
I think it was 3 in a row, and then I think he was winning, and he
And
popped
he
his shoulder
wadded.
out.
Yeah.
And then I always thought he was going to be like the next big thing, but I feel so bad for that kid because he just keeps getting injury after injury and starting over.
Right.
That can happen to anyone. It's just bad luck or something.
Right.
Right.
Well, and like on his best day in the 450 class, he's one of the he could be the fastest guy of the night, but it's just he always has something going on, like his nerve damage issue the last 2 years. That sucks.
You don't know. It could be his body or his mind, you know?
Mm. That's a good point.
Well, the way he's handled it over the years is amazing because he still can be the fastest guy.
Yeah,
and he's dealt with everything. He almost quit at one point.
Yeah, he's awesome. Just the way he takes everything, and he's for sure going to be a commentator.
Yeah.
He's super mature, and
he's a good speaker.
He's a good speaker, and he's like one of my favorite riders.
Yeah.
I just wish.
And he's such a humble kid now.
Yeah, and he's humble. That's the kind of people like we were talking about.
Yep.
He's got all the talent. He's humble. But like the amateur kids, a lot of them don't have the support and stuff. But that's the kind of kids that I always look for too.
Yeah.
Like when I was scouting amateurs too, I didn't go for the Richie Rich ones. I went for
the
ones
sleeper,
the ones that deserved it, kind of, but didn't have it.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of times the kids that end up growing up and kind of figuring it out anyway.
A lot of them did, like the ones that I got. Like, you know, Villopoto was already good when he's amateur, but he's always getting picked on by the Alessi brothers.
Yeah, and you know, everyone thought Mike was the next thing, and you know that Villo. And then as soon as they went pro, Villo won everything.
He smoked them. But when they were amateur, they'd always gang up on him.
Right.
He couldn't win as many as he could have.
Right. But like even Dungy, I think he has won Loretta's title ever.
Yeah, I know.
And he's the most consistent of all time. I think so.
And he got picked up so early.
He did. But
nobody really
one of
knew
the
who he
greats,
was.
one of the greats, and definitely the most consistent of all time.
Yeah.
And freaking no one saw Ryan Dungy being Ryan Dungy.
Yeah, nobody's seen him as being one of the...
20 years ago, no one saw him being what he is today.
I didn't even know who he was when he got picked up by Suzuki.
No one did.
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
It's a crazy sport.
Yep. It is.
Well, we've been sitting here for quite a while. Hush Boy, what are we on?
Hour 20. Yeah.
Nice. That's not bad.
How long do you usually go?
About this.
Yeah. Yeah, you're wrong.
I barely understood anything Hush Boy just said.
I can't hear you with my headphones on.
Is there
talking to the mic?
Is there anything that you want to talk about coming up, or is there anybody that you want to thank or shout out or anything like that, or are you just ready to go home and get back to work?
Home, yeah.
Home as in the
shop's more your home than your home, I bet.
Yeah.
I want to thank my wife for putting up with me the long hours all the time, and been married to her for 30 years.
Damn.
My son, Bronson, both my sons, Bronson and Jordan. Bronson helps me every day. Without him, I probably still wouldn't be doing this because he helps me a lot.
Yeah, shout out to Bronson. Bronson's a rad kid.
And then Bell Helmets always sticking by me, and big things coming in the future, near future. It's just taking longer right now because of COVID. Everything's screwed up and sitting on ships out in the ocean.
Yep. Yeah.
Just get a boat for the Black Friday sale.
Dealing with that too.
I get DMs every day. How come there's no taggers coming out on the Moto 10s and stuff?
Yeah, they're sitting on a ship.
And I'm like, even if I were to paint one right now, it takes almost a year for it to come out to retailers.
Right.
I just messaged like 5 people today.
That's crazy.
But I did tell them with the new Moto 10s that just came out, they said, how should we launch the Moto 10? I go, well, obviously launch one of my designs, but they didn't do that. So I said, okay. I said, just do a full carbon, do a gloss one and a matte one. You'll sell tons of them. And that's what they did. Yep. And now they're selling them all.
Yeah. No shit.
Because
that's the best way to go.
Always look sick.
Carbons look so
Everybody
good.
wants it.
Yep.
And whenever I paint a helmet, I always try to leave a little carbon exposed if it is carbon, because it always looks dope.
I like that. Yeah.
So I have other sponsors, Paint Huffer, a couple others. So
yeah. Well,
awesome.
Sick. We appreciate you coming in, and we're stoked to sort of be working with you a little bit. We're going to be putting some couple up and coming kids and some media pub collaboration with Tagger Designs helmets, and cool. got a couple kids in mind for that, and then we're going to find some up and coming kids to get set up with you, and we're going to get back on this putting some up-and-coming amateurs in Tagger helmets and get you back on the map some.
That'd be good.
Excited for the future.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, we need some damn style in our helmets because mine are blank and...
Mine are wrapped.
Yeah. We're not doing too good on the helmet designs.
Who's
so
wrapping yours?
Tyler.
Magic?
Yeah, I think he's the only one that does helmet wraps.
I was doing raps with him. Did you see?
Yeah, you have a collab, I think, with him,
I
correct?
did. I was doing a whole bunch, but he couldn't keep up with all the customers.
Oh, I'm sure. and installing them,
crazy.
installing them's a pain in the ass, dude.
Yeah.
That's sick, though. That means that people wanted them that bad that.
I just thought it'd be a cool idea because no one is really doing it anymore. I know
Right.
some people are, but and they want taggers, but they can't afford them. So I thought, $130 compared to
Right.
and they can switch it out all the time. And I got a whole bunch of people that were stoked. But I mean, if I had a crew of people doing raps in house or something,
It'd be
be
doable.
good, and I could make money. But Tyler was just doing them by himself, and he couldn't keep up with all the orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
It's a lot.
But that's just all the more reason to
Get your helmet in line.
send Tag an email and get yourself a Tagger painted helmet. Best in the game. You will not regret it. You'll have something looking like that, and you'll be the best looking dude on the line. You
And
might
don't-
not win, but you'll be the best looking dude.
Right, and don't try to tell him how to design it. Let him do it himself.
You might be slow, but you'll look pro.
Yep. And
Look good, feel good.
it works for me. It can work for you too.
Yeah, I will back that. Because, man, you should see this guy out there last weekend. Whew.
Yeah, we're not going
man.
to talk about vet nationals. Hush, boy, don't be laughing. You weren't even there. You
I
little
mean,
shit.
we should have got him a sled to sled down the hill because
This part's
he
gonna
decided
be-
to go cartwheeling.
This part's gonna get cut off anyway.
No, not a chance.
out.
Yeah. And
This is
I-
staying. I don't care if you edit. This is staying.
Ryan's gonna edit it out loud, huh?
Nope.
Yeah.
I
I'm the
won't-
only
I won't
one,
let him.
I'm
I'll
the
fire
only
him.
one that does edit these. So
I'll fire him from my friendship.
yeah. All right. Well, we are gonna check out of here. We're gonna go home and eat some food. Hush boy, thank you for coming and bringing Hesh Girl to fill in for Bull Boy.
Newest
Tagger-
recruit.
Yeah, newest recruit. Tagger, we appreciate you coming, and we'll be putting out a shit ton of content together. And just go ahead, follow Tagger Designs on Instagram and TikTok, since we're going to be flowing on TikTok now. And be on the lookout for new stuff coming. We are out of here. Peace.
Later.
Thanks. Did I do okay?
Did great. Should have heard it.
No. I don't want to hear it.
No, that was good.
I'll watch it later.